Good day, everyone, and welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. My name is Ouspenskaya, and I'll be hosting today's program for music and musicians around the globe. I'm very excited to interview composer and pianist Joel Feigin and to have a peek preview of performances of his incredible music and his works for various genres. It's my own and my wonderful team's pleasure to serve musicians and music lovers by providing performances and various events of music which is live, interactive, which brings us all closer together and get us more connected through modern means, and hopefully will bring valuable inspiration to everyone, all the audiences around the globe. Virtual Concert Halls is in its fourth season of continuously broadcasting through internet TV, and we are also producing many different events. And looking ahead, we have incredible seasons up our sleeve for 24-25. We'll be producing a 7-concert season at the Carnegie Hall in collaboration with many organizations and companies which are joining our efforts to bring world-class musicians to everybody's attention. And we also collaborate with many orchestras worldwide and in different countries where we present concerts to showcase artists, to showcase arts organizations. And yes, we have this path for musicians from the virtual stage to Carnegie Hall and to world-class orchestra stages around the world. We host many auditions for musicians to present themselves and to get attention, to draw attention to their art, to their skills, and to their abilities to captivate the audiences. We produce music films, we host many auditions, we provide a chance for musicians to be heard and to collaborate with such incredible ensembles like what you see on the screen, the Royal Philharmonic in London, with the Slovak Sinfonietta in Žilina, with various orchestras in different countries, Paducah Symphony in the United States at Carson Center, incredible conductors, Boulder Symphony Music Academy in Colorado, and many other orchestras. And we have the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra joining the Color Orchestra project for the next season, for season 24-25 and further. And all of those great opportunities are out there. We invite everyone to put their best foot forward, to apply for those auditions, to meet the conductors and musicians, composers, pianists, instrumentalists, vocalists from all over the world who are members of our wonderful panel of adjudicators. And let's look ahead what's coming up really next in the next few days. We will be hosting auditions for musicians to get a chance to perform at the Carnegie Hall in the next season, and in the with those orchestras you have seen on the screen a few seconds ago. So let's see, maybe a quick preview of what those auditions are like.
Performed on our gala at Carnegie Hall. Auditions for the 2024-2025 season will be happening soon. We have opportunities for composers to have their works premiered and professionally recorded with the Leonard String Quartet, opportunities to perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players and Orchestra Manhattan. Composers may also submit their scores to be premiered by these two fabulous orchestras. Solo opportunities, chamber music opportunities, and opportunities for large ensembles as well. Receive evaluations from the finest musicians, have a press interview, be featured on our daily internet TV show, receive certificates, medals, and a video of your performance, and have opportunities for many other awards. Applications are currently available on our website. Don't miss out on your opportunity to present your music on this world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.
And I want to mention that the deadline has just passed May 10th, but that's just for the May auditions. If you missed the deadline, if you haven't heard about those auditions, and you go like, oh my gosh, the next one is going to be in 4 years, no, it's going to be next month. And so please apply. The next deadline is June 1st, and the auditions will be held June 14th through 17th. And there you can apply for orchestras. We have 9 orchestras already with the dates of concerts and all the details of those presentations on the website. Please visit our website, virtualconcerthalls.com, soundespressivecompetition.com, progressivemusicians.com, colorchestra.com, and many other websites which also present all these opportunities together with us. By the way, these concerts are happening. Our team just returned from basically a mini tour going to Cairo in Egypt and presenting a concert for call orchestra winners, soloists who performed with the Cairo Opera Orchestra on the main stage of the Cairo Opera House, which is one of the biggest classical music venues for the entire Africa. There was a fabulous concert, and then our team went to Zlin in Czechia and presented a concert of call orchestra soloists and many composers, new music, new works with the Zlin home orchestra, Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic at the Congress Center in Zlin, and that was fabulous. That was followed by many hours and hours of recording sessions and so forth. Just go to our websites. It's a lot of information in there. Allocate a few minutes to really look into it and see if any of those opportunities can work for you. And we present the concerts in the new medium on the virtual stage through our systems which we created over the years to present live music and music events on internet TV, live internet TV. And of course, we invite many artists, arts organization leaders, orchestra conductors, and representatives of many different other fields connected with the music and musical arts, music education, publishers, you name it. We invite people who are in those spheres and in those businesses to join our programs and to share their insights, so that musicians and everyone who loves music can navigate the modern and frankly quite confusing world of contemporary music and the music field. And today I'm really, really excited to interview Joel Feigin, whose quartet composition, Mosaic, 2 panels for string quartet, will be featured at an upcoming concert at Carnegie Hall on July 1st at 7 p.m. So if you are in New York, don't miss that concert. It's going to present a lot of interesting compositions, and today we're going to get a chance to ask Joel all the questions I have, at least, for the composers, how they work on their composition. You know, composers, I'm a pianist, I'm a performer, I don't compose, I just play somebody else's music. But to me, it's always a mystery. How does that music come together? So we're going to hear from the person who knows how to get that done. And as in words of David DeBoor, Canfield from Fanfare magazine. This is music that demands to be heard. That's his opinion of Joel's music. And Leonard Bernstein mentioned at one point, you're a hopeless romantic. So we're going to meet Joel today. He is an internationally performed composer. His operas and instrumental works have been widely praised for their very strong impact as logical in music design as they are charged with emotion and drama. And that's from Opera magazine. Feigin's widely produced opera mysteries of Eleusis and Twelfth Night are at the center of his work, with performances in many different countries, including in Russia, in North Carolina, in Chicago, and many other places. Feigin's instrumental works include the From Commission for pianist Yael Weiss, who is a good friend of mine, by the way, Aviv, the Concerto for Piano and Chamber Orchestra, and we will have a bit of preview of each of those works, they can be heard on Feigin's latest widely praised CD, Music for Chamber Orchestra. It was described as by Fanfare magazine as the music that demands to be heard. And he is a professor emeritus of composition at the University of California. He studied with none other but Nadia Boulanger and Roger Sessions. And he has received, among other honors, incredible awards: Guggenheim Fellowship, Mellon Fellowship, Senior Fulbright Professorship, and the Edwards Dixon Emeriti Professorship at the University of California in Santa Barbara. A longtime student of Zen Buddhism, Feigin studied for many, many years with the late Sejun Mel Weitzman Roshi, and I'm going to ask him something about Zen Buddhism. I'm very interested how does that connect with his composition. And his collection at the New York Public Library of the Performing Arts at Lincoln Center just recently opened in 2011. And again, his wonderful composition for the string quartet will be presented at the Carnegie Hall on July 1st at 7 p.m. And if you are in New York, please don't miss that. And now I would like to invite Joel, who is in our studio, to have a little bit of a chat with me and open a little bit of the mystery behind composition. Joel, welcome. It's a great pleasure to have you today. Thank you for making time.
Great to be here. Thank you so much. It's great.
Wonderful. Now, I have all the questions, and as you can see, I'm ready to fire up.
Go for it.
One thing, you have such incredible diversity of everything in which you write. You have, in scope, you go from miniatures to big operas, and in compositional technique. And in our previous little bit preparation to this program, you mentioned writing beautiful music and ugly music, and both at once. And you have so much output, and not every the next piece listed is completely different from the other piece, and it's written for different ensembles, for different instruments, for different voices and all that. Why such a diversity? Is that more like intentional, accidental, explorational? Why do you go in so many directions?
Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's just I hear sounds in my head, and sometimes I like them, and therefore I want to share them. And as it happens, I hear very different kinds of sounds, and if I like them, I want to share them, and hopefully be of help to the old thing is better endure life, or better just endure it, or be delighted by it. So it's an offering.
How interesting. So do you pre-hear your compositions in already kind of dedicated sounds for particular instruments or particular performers, or does it come together in the process?
Well, usually it's pretty clear what instruments or voices are going to be in this piece. Sometimes I've been asked to write a piece by someone, and so there's this process of, say, a pianist like Yael, would ask, and I'd be sort of open to hearing the sounds of the piano play something, and it's very amorphous, but it sort of gels. Like with the string quartet, kind of gelled. And there's a moment where, like, you have at least something, maybe the beginning or something. Oh, that really gelled. And so I would, at that point, probably jot that down. And it evolves just by itself naturally. And maybe I'm writing another piece, and then there's a point where I say, okay, I'll do this one. I have this little jotted down thing. Let's see where that's at now. And then it kind of sometimes catches fire, and then I write the piece. And it happens with diverse, and I don't know why. It's just
How interesting. And in particular, I have a question. What came first for your opera Twelfth Night?
Yeah.
I know you wrote the libretto for it yourself. So
Well, I had help from Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, well, a little bit, I guess.
A lot.
But still, what came first? You heard a compositional piece, music, and then you were looking for operatic plot for it, or the other way around?
Oh, well, Twelfth Night, I mean, I've just always loved it. If music be the food of love, play on. I mean, you can't do better. And and it was like, and then that process, I heard a setting of "O Mistress Mine, Where Are You Roaming?" And I wrote that. It turned into a cello, baritone, and piano piece. And I also wrote at the same time a setting of of the other big Fool song, "Come Away, Death." And there was always this thing where, well, I don't know, where is this going? And then actually, I was on a Fulbright in Moscow Conservatory, and they did there my first opera, Mysteries of Eleusis, and it went well. And so they said, well, you have another opera up your sleeve? And I mentioned Twelfth Night, and they said, great. And so there I was. And the sounds were really coming. I already had some sound. Actually, the Come Away, Death, I didn't like enough. So I came up with another one, which I liked a lot more. And it was just a very gradual. And then an opera company in North Carolina asked for an ensemble version or chamber orchestra version. So I was focused on that and did it. And they produced it, and that's been done around. And I ascribe much more credit to Shakespeare. I mean, he's very good. He's good with words. Very good with words. And it's I didn't. There's some, and if I set the whole text, the opera would be a week long.
That's right, of course.
Would be a total, not Twelfth Night. It would be this week-long thing. And so I had to cut about 9/10 of it. And so that I did. And I just tried to keep in most of my favorite parts. And of course, then, it's written for, there are wonderful songs, but it's basically a spoken drama. And that unfolds in a natural way, in a different order, in some sense, than a drama in music.
How interesting!
Yeah.
This is very interesting to get like a. You open up the veiled process behind how the music, because when we perform or perceive music or opera, it just kind of flows. But someone like you put it together to flow. Let's have a quick peek preview of the 12th Night.
Yeah.
employment do we have here? To the unknown beloved, my lady. Take away the lady. What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure.
That is gorgeous. What a gorgeous opera, and so nicely written for the voices. I can see the singers are thoroughly enjoying.
Yeah, they
And the audience does too.
yes, they were really enthusiastic. It was a wonderful experience. That's
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a gorgeous music, great plot, and it's humorous and sweet and gentle and lovely. It's all of that. And but back to our diversity and variety. The next piece we prepared up our sleeves to preview is very different. Now, how do you decide what your next composition is going to be?
Oh, which is the next piece we're doing?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, it's back to the joke I told you as we were talking. Okay, I write pretty music and ugly music, and some people
Funny.
like my pretty music and hate my ugly music, and other people like my ugly music and hate my pretty music, and some people like both, and some like neither. So that's the way it is. And I find personally for me, the world that I experience is sometimes wonderful and fun, and sometimes terrible and tremendously painful. And so naturally, these sounds that are coming up sometimes embody that pain or embody that delight. And so I go with that. And with an opera like the opera I'm working on now is based on Sophocles' last play, Oedipus the Colonus. And brief, it's very different than Twelfth Night. I mean, Oedipus, of course, has killed his father and married his mother, even though he did everything to prevent himself from doing that. And actually, this is 20 years later. And after he found out, he blinded himself and just became a beggar. He was kicked out of Thebes. And he's now arrived in a new place. And he's just, I say, where are we? But the place he's arrived at is numinous. It's just somehow he and his daughter, who is helping him, just it has this really magical, sacred feel to it. And then someone comes up and they say, where are we? And he's like, get out. That's the grove sacred to the Furies. And Oedipus says, I'm never leaving here. This is where I'm going to die and find my rest with the Furies. And then it's outside Athens, actually in the birthplace of Sophocles. And he's finally accepted, and he comes to miraculous death, which is very peaceful, very mysterious. And he becomes like a demigod, welcomed by the gods. The gods say, the voice of the god. It's very interesting for me. In this polytheistic ancient Greece, the god is what Sophocles says. The god calls and just come. You're keeping us waiting. Come. And so it was very eerie.
That's a very dramatic plot. And yeah. And how long have you been working on that new opera?
Oh, about 1,000 years.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was about, I don't know, like 8 years now, and I can't stand it. So I'm aiming to finish the ensemble version this year, come what may.
Mhm.
And it was eerie
So
because,
is that a plot, the drama, the underlying the tensions, what brings out the, as you mentioned, the ugly music to life?
well, it brings some ugly music to life. I mean, killing your father and marrying your mother is pretty damn ugly.
It is.
And yet he's coming and finding a peaceful rest and a
Mhm.
miraculous death. So it kind of combines, which a lot of pieces do, both aspects. And like the all the mixed bittersweet stuff in between. And so that would be one that combines both, which is a
Interesting.
lot of my pieces.
Well, let's have a little peek preview for Antigone's plea for refuge from Outcast of the Gate.
Okay.
You call that ugly music? Gorgeous!
Thank you so much. I just did the best job I could.
It's
And
incredible. It's intense.
yeah,
And of course, it has a lot of dissonance in there because that's what you're expressing. But it really captures you and holds you in, and it's gorgeous.
well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you about something else. You list in your bio, which is unusual. You know, most of the time people list their accomplishments, where they studied, where they were born, and so forth. And I saw in your bio an interesting line about practicing Zen Buddhism. Why Zen Buddhism?
Well, it saved my life.
Oh, wow,
Um,
that's
yeah, I mean, I just when I began serious practice uh, and went to retreats where I sat in meditation for a week, all day, basically. I just had the feeling, if this doesn't save me, nothing can save me. And so now it's some 30 years later. And I mean, I couldn't write music without it. It would be too painful. And because it's a hard thing to do in this world. And it's, well, a couple of things occurred to me. You were saying, like talking about my being humble. I don't know, but it's very, and I mentioned this story. I mean, it's, of course you're humble. I mean, you're just part of the whole mess. And it's a huge mess out there, like the whole universe, and you're just part of it. So, that realization makes things, well, you could have various reactions, but for me, it helps make things okay. There's a great story about my teacher, Mel Weitzman. Because when you asked Mel, how you doing? He would always say, oh, I'm okay. And then one time someone got the guts. Well, he was such a sweet guy. I mean, it didn't take much guts. He said, Mel, I mean, aren't there times when everything goes wrong and you have just a horrible day? And Mel said, of course there are, but that's okay too.
oh wow, what a great answer. That's okay
Yeah,
too.
right. He was amazing. He was just amazing. It was supreme
So,
good fortune.
is that what you find in practicing Zen Buddhism? This incredible core balance
Yeah.
to make peace with intense joy as well as intense tragedy of the world.
Well, make peace with the world. It's a lot about balance. Like Mel would say, it's in sitting down to meditate, you can balance. It's all about balance, and it's all about the breath. And then when you sit down, you really 3 times you take deep breaths. For the most part, you just breathe totally naturally, but you settle into the breath. And, and the breath kind of is very interesting. I mean, for example, hi. Oh, hi. Okay. For example, sometimes, there's a time when for the first time ever, you take an in-breath and you're born. And then there's a time when you take an out-breath and then you've died. And in between, there are a lot of in-breaths and out-breaths.
That's true. This is a good perspective on the journey from start to the end.
Except it's not the start and it's not the end because you're part of the same mess. It's just like everything changes all the time. So, I mean, all this happens, that happens. And then there's this being born and takes an in-breath, and that just keeps going for a while. And then that same being takes a last out-breath, and then things keep going. So, that perspective.
That's an incredibly humble perspective and powerful as well, because being part of something empowers us to do our part.
That's right. We do our part. We do the best we can. We offer what we can.
How interesting. Well, we heard two very different operas. One already completed, the other one almost completed, but your genres just go on and on. And I want to hear some of, well, you got to give me that. Piano is my favorite instrument. Let's hear some piano music.
Right. Okay, fine.
And there was your own playing of the meditation. Now, meditation is at the center of Zen Buddhism. That piece, no doubt, is connected to your practicing Zen Buddhism.
Exactly. I mean, that piece was originally part of the soundtrack of a video of my first Zen teacher, Daido Lori, who is the abbot at Mount Tremper, Zen Mountain Monastery in New York, which is located in the Catskill Mountains. It's very beautiful. And he was also a videographer. And he made a video based on a fabulous Zen text, Mountains and Rivers Sutra of Dogen Zenji, in which the mountains and rivers become the voice of the Buddha and are the voice of the Buddha. And
that's so beautiful.
It's a great, it's fabulous. And so he did a video around the seasons, spring back into winter, of the area around there, which is very beautiful. And he read parts of the Dogen's text, and he asked me to write music for it. And it's an example. We were talking, my friend Dan Polkowski did the electronic elements of this, because it's not something, I know that it's not something I can do. And so I think it turned out well. And this is from the music for that video, and behind it is like just view a very peaceful pond in the forest in the
I
mountains.
can't wait to see the actual video of that. And
Yeah.
you're a really wonderful pianist. So in that soundtrack,
you.
you're performing your own piece, right?
Yeah. In which in that one?
In the soundtrack.
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
That's marvelous. Let us know. We would like to let our audience know when the video is out there with your soundtrack.
It should be. I mean, that's a chance for me to connect with Zen Mountain Monastery again.
Yeah,
and
let's
they
find
do
out.
have it on their website somewhere, but I will get in touch with them and find out
Yeah,
how to get it out there.
that's
Yeah,
very interesting. But
yeah.
again, your styles are so different. I guess you're just listening to the universe around you because you do so many different things with my favorite instrument out there, and a very contrasting piece I'd like to present to our audience: the Aviv Concerto, played by my dear friend Yael Weiss.
That's right.
Let's
Yeah.
hear that.
Okay.
What a fantastic concerto.
Thank you. Thank you so
Oh my
much.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to hearing your quartet mosaic and two panels
Oh,
at the Carnegie Hall.
thank
But we got to get that concerto to be performed at the
Absolutely.
Carnegie Hall. That is
Absolutely.
fabulous concerto.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. And yeah,
That'll be.
Elle plays so beautifully,
Oh yeah, Ellie's just one of the best. She's
It's
incredible.
great.
She's
It's great.
both virtuoso and a fiery personality. She's yeah.
Yes. It's
And I
great.
know the concerto is written for her, so you really bring
Yes.
out the real Yale, who's a pianist and a marathon writer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah, she's a runner. Um,
Yeah.
Listen, Joel, I haven't even gotten through half of my questions. I guess we're doomed. We have to do part two on this.
That would be great. I'd really enjoy it. This has been terrific.
Really,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much. It was such a great pleasure to hear your wonderful music, to
Thank
have you on the program, and to be privileged to bring your art and your soul and your personality for the audiences around the world to enjoy. Thank you so much for your generosity, for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we'll be saying goodbye to Joel. For now, I want to thank very much everyone involved in these productions. We are live with the music and musicians around the globe show 3-4 times a week, and the rest of the days we are live with other programming. We have magnificent 9 programs dedicated to Beethoven 9 symphonies with incredible Larry Rabchak as a narrator. These are films produced in collaboration with Architects of Music and Virtual Concert Halls. And we also this week will be presenting massive auditions Friday through Monday. Please tune in. Be sure to peek in. You will discover lots of great talent from around the world. And I want to thank very much our partners and collaborators. There are organizations and companies from all over the world adding their resources, their expertise, their initiative, their energy to our productions, to our projects and our initiatives. You see, there's so many logos, but these are not just logos and pretty pictures. These are incredible people who are really working tirelessly in order to bring great art to the audiences and bring the audiences and musicians together, reconnect, and to have our conversation, our relationships develop. And we stream on 50 plus channels and platforms out there. We are on every major social media and video platform. If you missed us on Instagram, look on YouTube. If you don't like YouTube, go to Vimeo. If you don't like either, go to LinkedIn or Facebook. And if none of those, you can see us on many curated channels and platforms all around the world, dedicated to bringing greatest performance and arts and music to their audiences. And with that, I want to thank our wonderful guest, Joel Feigin, who was here today with us discussing the artistic process of composition. And we had a great privilege to see his music. Thank you, Joel, one more time.
Thank you so much.
With that, I thank our audience. Please make sure you subscribe and like our channels. Come back, be part of it. Send us a message. We always look for interesting people and projects to collaborate with. And with that, I want to say many thank you to our team, wonderful producers from Virtual Concert Halls. Our team is growing. It's great musicians and artists who also mastered the virtual stage and internet TV production. And big thumbs up and thank you down to Božić Kudrić, who is a pianist and composer and a magician behind the production of today's program. Thank you, Ante. Thank you, everyone. See you again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.